and welcome back to Dusty Book Sniffers. I'm Nicole, and today we are here for my June TBR. Good morning or good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon beside it, and then that way you're not going to miss out on any of my bookish uploads. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back and joining me today. I really do appreciate you being here. All right, so we are talking all things June, a TBR. What crazy scheme have I got for this month? Nothing at all. Honestly, after last month's reading off my Kindle list and reading everything that I had on there, and that turned out to be 19 books that I had on my Kindle, and then I also had other books to read for bingo prompts and read around the world. It was excuse my language, a crazy ass bloody month. I don't think I ever want to do that to myself again, but it was a lot of fun. I read a great number of books and I was super pumped for it. And I will talk about all my favorite ones and all the rest of it a little bit later in the month when I do my update for my reading journal and all that sort of stuff. But today we are here to talk about my June TBR. And so for those that are new here, I just pretty much select stuff off my shelf, and I have a couple of challenges going. So I have my Read Around the World challenge, which is a self-imposed challenge for me to read more authors from different countries around the world. I think there's 192, 197 on my list. You can find that list in my Discord. My Discord is linked down below. Go to the free printout tab in the Discord and you will find all my free printout tabs there. So basically, I've got a couple of those in here. I'm just looking now. I've got a couple of those in there. I have a couple of fantasy books that I am starting. I've got some Greek mythology retellings in here as well. And then I've got my standard 4 off my shelf. So each month, at the end of last year, I'll start at the beginning. At the end of last year, I got 4 or 5 Book Grocer boxes. So that equated to nearly 100 books that I got from Book Grocer. One of them was their Christmas Advent book box, and that had 24 books in it, all individually wrapped. So it was like getting a present every day. And then I got a crime thriller one. So that was a mix of true crime thriller, mystery. So that was a mix of that. And I think there was 18 books in that one. Then I got a woman's fiction, and I got a literary one, and I got a craft one. So the craft one, I'm just looking over to now, that had a mix of knitting, crochet, quilting, toy making, but it was a lot of knitting. So I don't think I will get that again. It wasn't while I'm interested in knitting, I prefer crochet over knitting, and I'm a quilter and sewer. So I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of a mix, not as much yarn based ones. So yeah, so anyway, I tried, and so I've got all the books behind me, like except for this shelf over here. These ones are all books that I've read except for these 4 here. They are to be read, and most of the things you can see behind me except for this shelf here are all to be read as well. So generally what I do, and I was asked a question, I can't remember who asked it now, but I was asked about my shelves and the books behind me, and basically, yeah, so you can see, if you've been here a bit, you can see this shelf changes a lot. And then I've got a couple of shelves down here that have to be read as well. Obviously, I have already read this series here, which is The Discovery of Witches. I've got Harry Potter, which I've not read, but that belongs to my daughter, and the Witcher series I read at the beginning of last year. So that is my bookshelves, and I because I've got so many to be reads on there, I actually try to pull at least 4 each month off here, and so that's what I'm done, and they're the first ones that I'm going to show you. So for the people that asked about, that were curious about this book here by Philip Henschler, it is The Emperor Waltz. This is actually covering a couple of different timelines. It is a collection of people from different eras in our history. So we've got 1922, the 1980s, And I think that there was the 1990s I read somewhere, maybe on Goodreads or something like that. So basically, Wimmera, 1992, playing the piano. Paul Klee feels liberated by the gaiety of the Strauss Emperor Waltz. In 1990 London, Duncan dances around the shelves of his gay bookshop on an old ghetto blaster. London today, teenagers take poppers and accuse each other of using orchestra practice to cover up for other wildness. The Emperor Waltz drifts through the breathtaking novel, leading us upon an unstoppable dance of love, sacrifice, persecution, and joy. So yeah, that's what that book is about for those that were interested. So I am going to read that this month, and I think there is 600 and something pages in it, over 610 pages. I'm not sure exactly how many. That'll take too long to look. So, but yeah, that's what it's about. I'm actually looking forward to it because it's been sitting on there, and this came in the Book Grocer box, and I'm really looking forward to reading it. Like, it's got some good themes in it, and it's got, and it goes across a couple of different timelines. So I'm pretty excited about that. The next one that I'm going to read off my bookshelf, and I also have this on audio on Scribed, is The Night of the Flood. Know nothing about it, but that's what I'm going to be reading. It is set in the summer of 1952. Okay, I'm not going to go into too much detail because I'm going to talk about them anyway. Next one, I believe this is a fiction thriller, and that is Who We Are by B.M. Carroll, and that's that one there. And this one is 20 years after they went their separate ways, friends and enemies are coming together for a school reunion. Now, who doesn't love a good school reunion? That is always full of doom and gloom, isn't it? I don't know why we do them. Like, I don't go to any, to be honest. I went to far too many schools to go to any. Okay, so the next one that I'm going to be reading is called The Anomaly. It is by Michael Rittger, and basically it is for fans of Dan Brown. It's got a unremovable sticker off it, and not all secrets are meant to be found. Basically, a team of explorers seek ancient treasures, and and it goes from there. So it does sound a little bit like a Dan Brown. I do enjoy Dan Brown. They're always a fun read. I find them a quick read. I don't hold too much to it. It's just something to, read. So another one off my shelf. And I do believe I have this inscribed on audio as well. So I'll probably immersive read this one. That always makes for a quick read as well. All right, now some of the other books that I've got going on as well this month is Song of Achilles. I got this for $2 from that book fest that I went to back in March, so I'm going to read that. That is just one I want to read. And then I've also got by Carolyn Miller, the same, Madeline Miller by the same author, is Circe. I want to read that as well. That is actually a bingo prompt this coming month as well. And then I am also diving into Bridget Kemmerer, A Heart of So Fierce and Broken. It's book 2 in the Cursebreakers series, and so I'm going to read that. I read the first one a couple of months back, so I'm going to read that as well because that is also a bingo prompt. The next challenge that I've got going is actually my Read Around the World challenge, and I've had two books come in. One is off Savannah's shelf. She just recently bought it, so I'm like, I'll take that, thank you, and put that onto that shelf there. And the other one is for Andorra. Now, you know that I was waiting for the Andorra book to come in, so I'm a little bit ahead of Andorra, but it arrived last Friday. So it is called Wildcard. This one is translated... and it's a mystery set in Andorra. It's a tiny kingdom tucked between France and Spain in the Eastern Pyrenees. Filled with ski resorts and tax-free supermarkets, it's a tourist and smuggler's paradise. Wildcard tells the story of Rocio, a young woman from Barcelona who works as a supermarket clerk and relaxes with inspired games of solitaire and trips to the magical farm in the high mount. Bored with her job and her sexist boss, she derives a scheme to bilk him of his monthly take, and helps her sister, who is a cocktail waitress, and yeah, she manages to best a variety of men at their own game. So I thought that, like, I did a Google search for this, and so like not this particular book, but for this country, and this came up, and it was actually up the top of the list. So I thought, why not? I could not find it on Kindle. I could not find it on audio. I ended up having to order it off Amazon, and it came from the US. But if I was to buy this particular book in this country, they were going to charge me $144 for it. And I'm like, are you for real? Like it, yeah. So anyway, I ended up finding it. It was from a private seller, I believe. It wasn't from a bookshop or anything like that. But it came through Amazon, and it was not supposed to arrive until the middle of June, but it's here. So I can read that and get on with that. And the other one is The Dangers of Smoking in Bed. A lot of people have read this on Booktube. They've seen it around. This is for Argentina. So they are the two books that I'm going to try and polish off in the month of June. Maybe a few more. I've got a couple of other books as well. Oh, the other one is Little Bird by Wendy James. That's for Australia. So I actually have 3. I am starting a couple of series. One, I have heard everybody talk about this particular author, so I am diving in to the Robin Hobb, and I'm starting at the beginning. So we have The Assassin's Apprentice, book 1 of the Fraser trilogy. So yes, so I have bought the first 3. I'm going to start reading them in June. Whether I get them all finished in June, I don't know. But I am going to start with this one and see where we go. And then I'm going to tell you if you're all right or not. But yeah, I'm starting that one. I've never read anything of hers before, but I have heard so many good things about her, her writing and all that sort of stuff. So I am going to give it a go. So come back to find out the verdict. All right, the next one that I'm going to start, and this is going to be epic. This first book has, I've got book 1. Yes, I've got book 1. This first book has over 800 pages in it. And it's the Wheel of Time series. So I am actually starting this in June. I want to read the whole series. I've known about this series forever and a day. Well, what seems like forever and a day. I have never been brave enough to pick it up. But now with the new series that's out on Prime, I decided, you know what, it's time to read it so I can watch the series, because I did see a little bit of the first episode as I was walking through the house. Brendan was watching it, and I thought, oh, that reminded me. So I started collecting these. I have 4 of the 15, and this is book 1, and it is The Eye of the World, and so I'm going to start that. Wish me luck. I don't know how I'm going to go. But anyway, I'm going to start reading it. And I do believe that Brendan's actually listened to this on audio. So this first one on audio. So if that's the case, I'll go and suss out his Audible and listen to it as well as read along with it. Because that always, for me, for fantasy, especially epic fantasies such as like this one, The Wheel of Time, and some other epic fantasies that like have copious amounts of books in them, I find it easier to listen to them while reading along, because you get the correct pronunciation of the names that they say in the book. Because a lot of it's made up and stuff like you know, made up worlds and pronunciations and words and all that sort of stuff. So I always like to do that. So if he's got it, I'm pretty sure he said he had it. So, because when I walked through the house with the book, he said, oh, I've got that on audio. So, yeah, I'll go and suss out his Audible. He does that with mine as well. He jumps into my Audible and I jump into his. We spend a couple of weeks in each other's Audible and see where we end up. All right, so that is all my books. What have we got? We've got 5, 9, 10, 11 books for June, 12 books for June. So that's not too bad. That's about 3 a week. So that's not too bad. It's not as hectic as May, I know. You may be a little bit disappointed, but you know, a girl can only read so many books and she has to do some work and stuff like that. So that is it from me today. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Have a great day wherever you may be watching from. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Please do, because that helps me get seen on YouTube. And also hit that subscribe button and click the little bell icon to all notifications, and then that way you won't miss out on any of my bookish upload. And as always, leave me a comment down below and leave me a book emoji so I know that you've got this far. Have a great week, everybody, and I'll see you all again next time. Bye for now.